Thank you for joining us today at the Project Management Institute's Sustainability Summit 2023. We hope you enjoyed that session, and we will now have a short break.
Hello, my name's Stuart Thorpe. I'm deeply concerned about the climate crisis, which led to my decision to step out of full-time corporate activity from the start of 2023. Sustainability is important for me. It's my generation that's caused a large part of the problem, so we should also step up towards solving this. My aim is to maximise my impact on CO2 emissions reductions by 2030, as I believe the global community of over 5 million project professionals that we serve is a powerful movement for delivering the required change to a sustainable future. We all need to join together to fight the climate crisis, as individuals, as professionals, and as members of the PMI. I think that as project professionals, we have a unique set of skills and the required global scale to make a massive positive impact.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the latest instalment of the Saltwitch Chronicles. This is the Economy and Finance System from the 6 Systems for Transformation series. We're actually going to cover economy and finance in 2 parts. So this is part 1, the economy side of things, also known as purpose, endeavour and trade. So last time we covered systems concepts of stocks and feedback loops. This time we're going to cover purpose. So let's start by asking, okay, one definition of purpose is how do you choose to spend your day? Well, I guess I wake up, go to work. It's a long commute. I work from home. Sometimes I get out for a walk. Sometimes there's an epic brunch in my life. Sometimes I go out to dinner with friends. And of course, sometimes there's always good time for a nap or going to sleep in the evenings. Now, what would this look like for prehistoric Saltwitch, so maybe 3000 BC, the Neolithic era? So if you're looking at how people chose to spend their day, it was probably something closer to sleeping, then maybe getting the fire going fishing, gathering some cob nuts, finding the right sort of clay to make pots, firing the pots, and then sleeping, and was much closer to sort of subsistence and absolute survival sorts of purposes. But fairly quickly that starts to develop. One of the key economic concepts is that of specialization, which in some ways is a fancy way of saying teamwork. So you start to see group cultures emerging more and more. So maybe one person in the group is good at fishing. Another group gathers dye plants and is good at weaving and making thread. Another person in the group is great at doing pottery during the day and also is great at napping flint heads in the evening, maybe. And then maybe the last person is very specialised. They spend half the day looking for gold and the other half turning it into jewellery. Because you've got this specialisation, this sharing the tasks out and allowing people to sort of get better at them, the group actually produces more than it would if they were acting individually. And here's another way of talking about that. So Henty can catch more fish than Henty needs to eat of a day, and Bebrus can make more cloth than Bebrus needs to wear in clothes. So they can each trade their surpluses so that Bebrus can specialise in making cloth but still has fish to eat, and Henty doesn't have to have a loom. And so this is how you start to see the development of different civilizations. So the increasing complexity, different sorts of textiles, more complex family groups or community groups, the domestication of crops and things like that. That's when you start to see different civilizations sort of coming together. And so you could say what this means is working together means there's more to go around. Now, another important economic term is production, which is ideas plus resources plus labour plus tools and technology. And economy just means production plus trade plus consumption. which I think makes it a bit simpler to understand. So here's another concept to do with bartering and trading in surpluses. Now, Bebrus makes quite a lot of cloth, and Bebrus probably doesn't want all 20 fish at once because they'll go off. So one of the next key inventions in terms of economics is the invention of money, which is portable, uniform, divisible, and durable, and essentially means that Bebrus and Henty can trade in coins rather than rotten fish. So what's the purpose? Well, money makes more trade options than just pure bartering. And if we look at Roman Saltwich, where there's definitely well-established currency throughout the Roman Empire and extensive trade routes between Rome and Britain and beyond, you do see much more complexity in the trade than you would in the Neolithic era. So more complex pots or gold work, more complex materials. The bottom image is lead, which also could be a source of silver. And so throughout the Roman Empire, you see huge amounts of trade and the flow of ideas and resources and production across vast areas. And you could think of a construction site or a project as a little bit like its own little empire with its own little economy. I think we could all actually say, well, we do understand the ideas of production and trade and consumption within a construction site. So in some ways, economy can be defined as flows of resources with purpose. Now, there are some bigger macro questions here as well, like how do we choose to spend our money and how do we choose to allocate our resources? Most of that is for politics rather than economics, and through history there have been a variety of different approaches to this problem, including religious authority, knights, lords, kings under the feudal system, the ancient democracies, or the Roman Senate. Several goes at whoever has the biggest army makes the decisions. Communism, of course, is another way of making those decisions. Varying degrees of absolute monarchy through to parliamentary monarchy and democracy, and modern democracies. Again, that is mostly a question for politics, but the way those decisions are made will have a big impact on the economy. But going back to projects, what does this mean for projects? Well, does this mean that we could think more broadly about the capitals involved in our projects and the resources and the production and the consumption? So could we use the 5 capitals model to think about projects and decisions? Could we think about the natural capital and the social capital, as well as thinking about financial capital? Could we choose options with better human capital that take account of the manufactured capital in a different way? So that's enough on the economy. Part 2, finance, to follow another time. Thanks very much.
Creating a more sustainable future is the challenge of the century. Together we can engage, inspire and mobilise for action to improve the situation for people and the planet. How? Through the power of projects. Project management brings together the why, the what and the how. Let's come together to use our skills for action. Please get ready because the next session is about to start.